Let's organize the curriculum for February.
First, you will notice that the whole box comes in packets. On the very top, first you want to separate and pull out the parent newsletter. If you ordered a curriculum for 5 children, then there will be a newsletter on the top and then the whole month of curriculum worksheets, and you will have to go through all the month's pages of worksheets to find the next newsletter. As you pull out the newsletter, what I like to do is zigzag and make a pile. So once I find one newsletter, everything behind that is the single child's packet for the entire month. Then we're going to go through this booklet, which is the teacher calendar that shows you step by step what you need for each child for each day. As you can tell, I'm still going through and pulling out the worksheet. That's usually the color of the month. Then after I pull out the worksheet, there's a menu, recipes for parents, along with the newsletter. So the parents get their enrichment parent engagement to take home every month. So that is step 1. Empty out the contents of your box and then separate all of your supplies, which will be the parent newsletter, which is the color of the month, the parent recipes to try at home with their child, and the parent calendar if there's a day that the children should wear the color of the month to class. This curriculum makes it super simple. All a teacher has to do is grab this book, open to the page of the activity, and it will give you everything the teacher will be teaching, which includes the Bible verse for the day, the core curriculum, the core values, the exercises of the day, and an extension if you have older kids that need more curriculum. You literally just need to open the book, find the day on the calendar that you are teaching, and at the bottom corner of each day, it has the activity number that corresponds with each of the worksheets and activities that also are labeled at the bottom with the activity number. Everything a teacher needs is all here. Just go to the day you're teaching, go to the bottom, it tells you the activity, and then pull out that packet. Once we're done with the organization of this curriculum, you just go to the day you're teaching and pull out that activity. There's also a provider newsletter I recommend all staff read. The menu if you'd like to, and this is a copy of the recipes the children will take home. Monthly songs along with all of the core values for the curriculum. This is the example of every day. It also has a finished project picture. This is what it will look like by the time we are done. You just pull the packet. I put sticky notes with the activity number, and it has every day. You just pull one packet and you're done. It has everything the child will need. We will be going through this whole box so that we separate all of the supplies that correspond to each one of the activities. Everything will be organized. These are your progress reports as well. Let's get started. As you see, we're finishing getting all of the children's packets that we have zigzagged in a big pile. Now we have opened up the curriculum book to activity 1, and on the book itself for each activity, it has a list of supplies. Remember, the first thing that we did was when we opened this box, we scattered everything out. So all of the supplies should be readily available. We took everything out of the box. So now we just have to look for the supplies that are labeled in the book. I suggest handing out these newsletters as a packet so that each parent feels the engagement and support from their teacher. Parents will know what their child is learning every month and their core values. There's also this handy book that the teacher can read every day. They read the same book that has to do with morals, values, principles, and the shapes and colors of the month. It also comes with this calendar that we post up on the board and let the children do the calendar at circle time. That's an added plus, but not a requirement if you have little toddlers. So now you see we're getting all of the supplies ready. We have all the children's packets. We're going to take each packet and we're going to lay it out side by side. So this curriculum that we did for this month of February, I think we had about 13 children or so. So we had already separated each packet, now what we're going to do is lay it all out on the table, side by side, because we're building an assembly line. We basically want an assembly line of all of these packets. So we're going to pick one and one and one and one of the same worksheet, and we're going to build the packet for the day. That way, when the teacher comes in, all she has to do is pull out the activity number for the day, and we will add all of the supplies. So right now, we're pulling each of the sheets. This would be, you see, activity 1, and this is how we're going to pull it from this packet. Make sure that staff reads that. So now we're building. We're taking each one of these worksheets and we're going to pull one of each. And my assistant was helping me. And now we're going to pull the supplies. If you go to the activity of the day, it'll tell you what supplies you need. So we're just going to pull the worksheets and then pull the supplies needed. And then we're going to put it into an envelope. You could use a manila envelope. I like to use these sturdy plastic envelopes that shut. That way I can put all of these supplies that are needed in there. It seems like a lot of work, but really when you're teaching littles, it's great to have all of the supplies ready and all of the worksheets ready. So all you will need to do is grab either scissors or glue and sit the children down and spread out their activity every day. My teachers have really liked this because it gives them something to engage with the kids. The parents really like it because they get to learn what their children are learning about in school. It is a lot of prep work once a month, but definitely worth it to have all of those core preschool core principles that you need. You hit all of the developmental milestones as well as the core curriculum for each state. So now we just continue. Some days you'll have more than one worksheet. The great thing about this curriculum is that in the instructional guide, it tells you what worksheets. And the great thing also is that each one of the worksheets is labeled at the bottom with the activity number. So you just correlate the calendar at the front of the instructional guide with the activity number that's on the date. Then you pick that activity worksheet. You pick a folder. You could use a folder, a manila envelope, or you could use one of those plastic sheet protectors. I've used those as well. And then you just keep building. You will see that we use this calendar to show what supplies are needed. It takes a little bit of practice to see what each supply is, but it will tell you if you need pipe cleaners, if you need a heart sticker, if you need sequins, if you need googly eyes, and everything comes in the box. You just have to look for it, look for the corresponding worksheet, and then look for the corresponding supplies. Like I said, it could be googly eyes, it could be pipe cleaner, it could be confetti, it could be, sometimes there's sprinkles. But the good thing is that it gives you a picture of the finished product, so you don't worry about it. You just look at the finished product, look at the worksheet number, and look at the supplies. And this is all included in that instructional guide. So if you see here, this day it just had worksheets, and there was several worksheets. Sometimes when it's too many worksheets, what I'll end up doing is just send it home with the parents as homework, because you see here it had a couple worksheets. So we will just put maybe one in there, and anything we don't use we send home. Or we also just see how that packet is numbered. So this is activity, I believe, number 2. And everything corresponds in there, and it's all nice and neat. And then I just build it, starting with packet number 1, 2, 3, all the way to the end. And all a teacher needs to do is come in and look for the number of packet, go to the instructional guide, see what day it is. Right there, they look for the packet. You get it out of the box. Everything's easy peasy. Now you'll notice, like I said, that some days it's just worksheets. And for me, having 3 worksheets is a little redundant. So that might just be a day that I let the kids do more Play-Doh or free play. And send the worksheet home for the parents to do. It gives them parent engagement. It also reinforces what the child learned in class that day. See here at the bottom, this is where it says what activity number it is. So everything corresponds. If you have a little sticker, or if you have a little shape, or if you have a little cardboard, those will usually also be labeled at the bottom as well. I always love to have at least one teacher know how to do this in case I don't have time to do it. Then we read the instructions together. See, so here I was having to help her look for the correct supplies. Sometimes it'll say corrugated paper, sometimes it'll say fabric squares, and you just have to look because the box sends everything, all the supplies, all together. And then it also says here, 1 of 1, 2 of 2. So that's how you know. So it shows 1 of 1, you have 1 of 1, 2 of 2. You see, it's really simple. Get it? And 1 tissue for, so you want to put, just take the wet tissue paper out, all of it. So it gives you all of your supplies, and it gives you the picture of what you need. So sometimes you might need the same supplies for 2 different days. In that case, you split the supplies with the number of children that you have. For example, if you use googly eyes 2 days this month, if you have 32 googly eyes, you need to split those in half into each of the activity days. Let me grab day number 3. See, day number 3. Put all the day numbers listed. See, so here we're doing another activity day, and now I'm just reading what's on the instructional guide and looking for those specific supplies that are listed on the instructional guide. We're going to pull the worksheets that are needed, if any, and if there's no worksheets, it will just be the supplies. Oh, for number 4, yes, ma'am. Yeah. Yeah, so we need to cut number 4. So you just keep going through the whole box, and you're going to look at the calendar again and pick the next activity and pick the corresponding worksheets and then the corresponding supplies. Then you're going to put it in the envelope and you're going to label it with the activity number. So it gives you all of your supplies, and it gives you the picture of what you need. That's it. I hope you found this super helpful. Again, this is just an option for curriculum if you don't want to do a lot of research. The research has already been done by this curriculum company, and it is a great resource to have, and will also include parent engagement. The name of this curriculum is Carol's Affordable Curriculum. You can go to www.carolsaffordablecurriculum.com. They have different options for cutting and pasting or not cutting and pasting, as well as a Christian curriculum as well. This is a finished product, nice and easy. Hope you enjoy.